don't know, exactly 2 years ago, or like at least, you know, November 2015, I released my first debut book called At Water's Edge as part of the Water Rushes series, and I'm now working on book 4 in that series, and I'm now also working on a series called Ashes of Legends, which I started late last year, and I've just finished book 1 in that series, writing it and rewriting it and writing it and rewriting it, and we'll get to that later. So in the Water Rushes world, I released Swept Away, which is book 3 in that series, in August, and I'm now preparing to release book 3.5, which is a novella related to the series, which follows on from book 3, but also tells the history of the world from book 1, but you can't read it because it contains spoilers of book 3, so you have to read book 3 first. But yes, so anyways, I am preparing to release that one in January, I think, and as I already said, I'm working on book 4 right now, which is really exciting. I'm halfway through it, but I've taken a break from it for the past month to focus on Ashes of Legends and getting that sorted. So now in November, I'm going back to the Water Rushes series. I'm looking really forward to getting back into that world, into the heads of all my characters, because I've actually missed not working with them and not writing them for the past few weeks. So I'm imagining I'm going to finish book 4 at the end of this year, so like late December, and then be sending it to my editor in January. So there's a lot of things that are happening in January in my mind, which is very exciting. Now, in the Ashes of Legends world, I've been giving people like a play-by-play update through my Instagram, but if you don't follow me there, I'll now give you the play-by-play here. And I know a couple of you do follow me there and actually ask me to explain my process, because I say stuff like, I've done the bones, I've done the meat, I'm doing the heart, and people are like, what are you talking about? So I'm now going to explain my writing process in terms of the meat, the brains, the heart, and all that stuff. So I start with the bones, and I get very excited that the bones are done. Now the bones, as I see it, are the skeleton of the story. They are the outline of the story. They are what happens in the story. So they are my what. So it's like girl meets boy, boy and girl get married, boy and girl have baby, boy and girl break up. You know, that is what happens in the story. Then I go to the meat. So the meat is the how. That's how I look at it. It's the how. So okay, how do the boy and girl meet? How do they go from meeting to getting married? How do they go from meeting and getting married to having children? Like, what happens in their lives that leads to that happening? And then also, what leads to them breaking up? Why do they suddenly break up? How does these events of the bones become more meaty and actually happen? Then when I do my third rewrite, I call it the heart. So when I'm doing the third rewrite, I'm focusing on the why of it. What is the motivation? What is the feeling that the person gets to make them do that? So what is the motivation? Why does this person fall in love with this person? How does this person make that person feel? All the emotions, I just throw in all the emotions, the love, the joy, the happiness, the pain, the anger that leads to the breakup. What leads to the breakup? What does that person do? How does it feel? And then for my fourth and final rewrite that I like to do with myself before it goes out into the world, so I do more than 4 rewrites, but I do 4 with myself, and the fourth one is skin. So that is what I call fleshing it out. So that is the little embellishments and adding more depth into the characters and just little tidbits that don't necessarily move the story forward but are very intriguing to know and just make you connect more with the characters in the book or with the story in the book, or to know a bit more about the history. It's just the fleshing out of the whole person to make them complete. So I see the book as like my little baby, and it starts as a little skeleton, and then it gets some nice meat, and then it gets a heart, and it's beautiful, and it's beating, and you're connected to it, and then it just gets some flesh, and it gets fleshed out, and it becomes more connected to you. So for those of you that asked me on Instagram, because quite a few of you did, what am I talking about with the bones and the meat and the blah blah blah, explain it, that is what it is to me. It's the what, the how, the why, and then just fleshing it out into more glorious detail. And I recently finished that whole person building process with Ashes of Legends, so I'm very excited about that, and I've sent it to some beta readers. If you're one of them, thank you very much. I'm so excited / nervous / excited to find out what you think of it. But basically, a beta reader is the person that now is going to read it. They are my audience. They're the people that I'm trying to appeal to, and they're going to tell me, yes, the story's great, or no, it's rubbish. They're going to tell me like, oh, I found it really confusing, and what parts they found confusing, or they're going to tell me it made perfect sense and they love it and they want to just dive right into the world. So they're just going to pick apart the whole story, and I give them a bunch of questions, about 10 questions to answer that I want to know, like myself, like, did you find something confusing? Did you like want more of something? Did you want less of something? Was there any part that you got bored? So I asked them a series of questions, and I've given them 4 weeks to do it. So I pick apart what the beta readers tell me. You know, I see what majority is. So if a lot of people are commenting on this one scene or this one thing that happens and all of them are just like completely confused, then I'm going to be like, okay, I need to look at that again, because clearly it's not as clear as I think it is, or it's not as consistent as I thought it was. So it's really good to get outside eyes looking at it, and unbiased eyes as well, because it's all well and good for like your mom or your aunt or your uncle or whoever to read it, but when it's somebody out there that you are just literally like, hey, this is my book, judge away, you get much more honest feedback, so I find it really helpful. So after I go through all their points and pick and choose what parts I agree with and what parts I think, yeah, that needs to be clarified or that needs to be changed, then I will send it to my official editor, and then she will then go and pick apart it in even more detail and give it back. So that I'm hoping to get that to her in December, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then again in January, it's all about January, I should be getting Ash of Legends back officially fully complete, and then it's again up to me what parts of it I want to change based on the editor's feedback, and then it will be done. I have not decided on a release date for Ashes of Legends yet. It's still in the works in my mind, but I have started doing a bit of research in terms of covers, because covers are very, very important. I recently did a little marketing research with my Facebook followers, and I got such good feedback on covers. So it turns out my Water's Edge series, you might have noticed, is basically mostly a symbol, a crest from that Water Rush's world. However, it turns out, based on the popular consensus, that actually having a person on the front cover is more eye-catching. Something about the eyes on a front cover makes you as a human want to make eye contact with that person on the cover, and then you're like, oh, what is this book? And then you read it, and then you're like, oh, okay, I want to find out more about this book, and then you buy the book. So they say that actually having a person on the front cover is the way to go, especially if, like me, you're an indie author, so you really want to do whatever you can to get people's attention to actually bother to notice your book. I mean, if you see a book that says Cassandra Clare on it, you're gonna go get it because you know Cassandra Clare, or at least I'm gonna go get it because I know Cassandra Clare. If I see a book that says J.K. Rowling on it, I'm gonna go get it because I know J.K. Rowling. But if I see a book that says Samantha Higgins, I don't know who Samantha Higgins is, so then if she's got a catchy cover, I'm more likely to be like, oh, I don't know Samantha Higgins, but this looks nice, and then I'm gonna read the blurb, and so on and so on. Another thing that I'm also getting my Facebook followers feedback, Facebook followers feedback, Facebook followers feedback, Facebook followers, that is a bit of a But another thing that I'm getting my Facebook followers feedback on is my website. So as you guys know, I've been thinking about my website for a while and how to rearrange it and going with the logo ideas and all that stuff. And actually, I've kind of gone back to Ife D'Souza's first suggestion, which was the compass and stuff. It just feels right in my heart. So thank you again, Ife. I think I'm going with that idea. But yes, so now what I want to do in the whole revamping of the logo thing is revamp the website. So I'm actually asking my Facebook followers to tell me what they think of my website. So if you get the chance, then please go to my website, I will link it below, and just tell me what you think of it at first glance and what you think could be done with it to change it. I am open to all suggestions because I'm thinking 2018 is going to be the year that I finally get it to the way I want it, so that I don't have to keep going back and changing it, and the logos and the books and all that stuff. So that is my plan. It's all about January. I'm all about January right now. I'm probably not going to change the site in January because it's just a lot of stuff happening in January, but if I have some idea and direction of where I'm going in it, I can start to budget for it and plan for it, and that's what's exciting. So far, that is what's happening in my writing world. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking in on what's happening, and if you have any other questions, then feel free to message me or comment below, or find me on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, and I'll be happy to answer them, and I'm sure I'll be giving you guys another writing update once I get the feedback from my beta readers, and along the way as I write the 4th book of the Water Rushes series. And that is all for today. Until next time, I'll see you. Bye!